If you're looking for a meal that is light and flavorful but still filling, then this segment of In the Kitchen with Krystal is for you. I'm Krystal Taylor, the owner and CEO of Fitness is Not a Game, and today we are making a sweet chili salmon bowl. It's going to be sweet, it's going to be tangy, and it's going to hit all the points. So come on in. Before we get started, I want you to get your sip of water as we always do. Cheers. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, I already have an oven preheating at 400, so that's ready to go. I also have my base of my rice that's almost done. So let's get ready to make our salmon so that we can get that in oven because that's going to take the longest amount of time. So what we're going to do, we're going to make us a sauce for this. We're going to make us a glaze, I should say, for our sweet salmon. All right, so first we are going to use some sweet chili sauce. You can use whatever sweet chili sauce you have. I'm going to use about, and I say about a third of a cup. Look here, I was like, how much you using? Until the ancestors tell me to stop. And I like for mine to be a little tangy. So we're going to use some sweet chili sauce. We're going to use some soy sauce. Soy sauce, whenever you can, I try to make the better choices. So I have a reduced sodium. So it's going to be about a tablespoon, but you season it to your liking. That about a tablespoon. Then we're going to get us some lime. Look, now you can get the pre-made lime juice, but I'm going to go ahead and use some fresh lime because we're going to use lime throughout anyway. So why not go ahead and we're going to use the lime for garnishment and toppings later. So why not go ahead and use some fresh lime. But if you're using the sauce, the juice is going to be about a tablespoon. So I'll probably do, oh, it smells so good. And lime just adds a different type of freshness to it. It brightens it up. So yeah, I use about a quarter of a lime. Getting all that juice out of there. Get all of it. Now to add a little more kick, we're going to add some sriracha because you know my theory. The spicier, the better. You manage that to your flavor palette, the amount of heat you can take. Oh my goodness. I probably can use a little bit more, but that's about all. And I just made a whole mess, y'all. I can't stand making a mess. Child. All right. And then lastly, we're going to add to get a little more flavor. Something that a lot of people overlook when it comes to Asian meals is ginger. So I like to use the ginger paste. I feel like it's more concentrated, but you can do fresh ginger, ginger powder, whatever you. What is up with everything? Trying to make a mess on today. Jeez. Oh, you know what? I'm going to whisk this together first. And then I'm going to drizzle it. So that's all we did. We put together some sweet chili sauce, some soy sauce, some lime juice, some ginger paste. What else we use? That's it. What? Soy sauce, ginger, sriracha, and sweet chili sauce. All right, now let me taste this, see how I like it. No, oh, it's a lime. Yep. Oh, and that's sriracha, baby. Here we go. So I just got me some salmon. Got the skin on salmon. What we're going to do with this, we're going to go ahead and just put it on our pan we're going to cook on. And we're going to season it that way. But get all the stuff out of the way. So I'm just going to do 3 today. You do however you like. Then this is one of those meals because we're using simple ingredients. You can make as much rice as you want. You can bake as much salmon as you need. All at once is not going to take long. So whether it's making a meal for 1, meal for 4, meal for 6, you can make a nice amount in a short amount of time. So what we're going to do first, put a little bit, we're going to drizzle a little bit of oil, just a little. If it comes out, oh, there we go. A little bit of oil on our salmon. And then we're gonna rub this in. Just a little bit, and I'm spreading some of it from that first one because it gobbled out. Put it on here. And I'm gonna get my spoon just to pour our glaze, so drizzle our glaze onto our salmon. Actually, hold up. I feel like I want to season the salmon a little bit. Let me, and that's the cool thing about cooking. You can make you a good all the bowl. So I got some good seafood seasoning from I Got You Seasoning. Why not use that? Because we're making seafood. Yes, we are. Where is that? There we go. So I got my seafood seasoning from I Got You Seasoning. I'm gonna put a little bit on here. And typically when I would make seafood, I would use like a little bit of Old Bay, but I don't want the Old Bay. We're not doing that flavor palette today. So I am going to just use my I Got You seasoning to get on there, and then put the rest of this glaze on here. And then we're just gonna throw this in the oven for about, what's this? So 400. So we're gonna cook it for about 10 or 15 minutes, somewhere around there, depending on how thick your salmon is and how well you want it cooked. All right, so I got my glaze on here on this salmon, and we're gonna throw this in the oven. Like I said, my rice is probably already cooked. There we go, that's that. Nice and pretty, see that? Okay, throw it in the oven. 100. Get a nice little glaze on top of that. The rice is basically done. Now let's talk about this rice. Where a lot of people mess up when they make their rice is that they just make it plain bland rice. I don't do that. There should be flavors in every bite, right? So when you can layer your flavors, I want you to do that. So instead of cooking my rice in water, I cooked it in broth, but that broth was also seasoned. So I used a little bit of my all-purpose, the original dash, but then I also threw in a little garlic and herb and a little bit of onion and herb. So that all cooked into the rice so that when you do eat it, you got flavor everywhere. All right. Now, what we're also going to have in this bowl, we're going to make a slaw that goes with it. So with this bowl, because remember I told you it's light and fresh. So we're going to have our rice, we're going to have our slaw, our salmon, then any toppings that we want. So let's prep the slaw and the toppings as that gets started. So with our slaw, I buy the pre-bag because the whole purpose, one of the main purposes for in the kitchen is to show you how to make meals that are good, that are easy, right? That are good for your waistline. But then also, I want to show you how to cut some corners because so many people, did I say quick? Because so many people say that they don't cook because it takes too long. Let me know if that's you. So if there are ways that you can get around it, why not? Why not take some shortcuts? Now, if you want to get your own cabbage and your carrots and cut them up, go for it. Do you, boo-boo. But if I can get a bag and it's already done, and I don't have to do all that grating, and I don't have to buy, because look, this one is the tricolor. So I have my white cabbage and my purple cabbage and my carrots already done for me. Yes, please. All right. So I'm going to look through here and take out, I don't like these big old chunks. Take that out. And then we're just going to make us a sauce for this slaw. So making this not like a thick coleslaw, but we're going to make us a sauce. So we have our cabbage. Now what we're going to add to this, I probably need another bowl and I am going to use another bowl because I want to taste my sauce before it gets in there. But one thing we're definitely going to put in there, we're going to put us some green onion. As you see, my green onion, they're at the last of the leg. You cut up some green onion just to add a little flavor and a little crunchy crunch, right? I'm gonna chop. I can just chop this straight in here, and I like using my scissors, my kitchen shears, as they say, it makes it easier and quicker. That's why I gotta keep these. I throw these things in the dishwasher all the time, keep them clean, because I'm constantly using them. But we're cutting up two green onions to go into our slaw mix, and then we're gonna play around with the seasoning. Well, not the seasoning, the sauce for the slaw to get it to where we want it to be. All right. So I think that's good. You see that? So it's just a little slaw. Actually, I think I might want a little bit more green onion. Why not? Because it adds so much flavor. And I may as well get rid of what's left over here. All right. Cut up some more green onion. And then I'm going to walk you through how we're going to make this sauce. Now, there are going to be a few ways that you can do it. You decide which, what you have. One, what you have in your kitchen. Because what I also try to do in the kitchen is not make stuff that's going to require you to go out and buy all types of extra stuff that you may or may not ever use again. I like to give you things that would use the staples that you have in the kitchen, and maybe you buy a few things. Open up your palette or your repertoire, but I don't want you to feel as if you have to go buy a lot of stuff. I don't typically have a lot of slaw in the house, so I went and got that. But for the most part, this is just stuff I already have, or I'm going to typically use over and over again and other stuff anyway. All right. So what are we going to do, or what are we going to use to make this sauce? All right. First up, this is going to be like an oil base for the slaw. So we're going to use a little bit, and I'll tell you this. Oh, okay. Now here we go. Remember I said decide what you want for your flavor palette and play around with it. Okay. So I have some sesame seed oil. If you decide to use sesame seed oil, use it very sparingly because it is very strong. Okay. You can also use olive oil if you like. I think I'm going to add a little, I think, you know what? Let's do a mixture. I'm going to do a little bit of oil. All right, just do about half and half. Actually, I might use a little bit more olive oil than I'll use for the sesame oil because, baby, the first time I tried the sesame oil, nobody had warned me on how strong it can be. So this is how you know you're not supposed to use a lot of it. You see that little hole right there? That means don't try to pull this out fast. It's trying to warn you. That hole is there as a warning. So I'm just going to put, that was 4 drops. 4 drops. Let me smell it. Because if I can smell it too much, okay. All right. I can smell it, but it ain't crazy. So I'll allow it. Okay. So next up, what we're also going to do is we're going to add some vinegar. Now, this recipe works really, really well with rice vinegar or with apple cider vinegar. I don't have apple cider vinegar or rice vinegar. I thought I had rice vinegar. But so I'm just going to use some regular distilled vinegar. But because that can be pretty pungent, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to break that down a little bit. And you can do it with honey or with water. We were already going to use a little honey. So I'll just use a little more honey to balance out the regular vinegar that I'm going to put in here. So I would say this is probably like a tablespoon of olive oil. I told you I did 4 drops of sesame oil, right? If you're going to use sesame seed oil, I'm telling you, do not use a lot. So for the vinegar, we're going to do, trying to see how much I got in here, how much slaw. I may have to make a little bit more, but like a couple, a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon. That's about a tablespoon of vinegar. Then we're going to get this young honey. And if you had apple cider vinegar, that was brand new. You have apple cider vinegar or rice vinegar, you will only need like a teaspoon or so of honey. But because we have regular vinegar, I'm going to use about a teaspoon and a half just to cut it. Because when I tell y'all it's strong, It's strong. Let me rinse off my whisk so we can whisk this together. And then we're going to have to play around with it because what we're doing is we're making a sauce for our slaw. And that honey is seriously thick. And I might add a few little seasons in here. Trying to see what I'm tasting. But once I taste it, I'll know if it needs anything else. And yeah, we're going to definitely need a little more sauce, but we'll see. All right. The back of the spoon so I don't have to keep licking my fingers. Let's see. I told y'all that rice vinegar, that sesame seed oil is no joke. But it's good though. And it's not overpowering. I'm trying to see. Feel like I want to add a little bit of lime juice. Just a little bit. And maybe I'll add a little pepper. Actually I'm going to use some table blend. I love table blend because it has pepper in it. But it has also has other seasoning. And since we adding a little kick, you know what? Let's grab this young cayenne. Can we get some cayenne? Boy, when I tell y'all that sesame seed oil is no thing to play with. Baby. Okay, let's put a little cayenne up in there. Let's see about it. Whisk this on up a little bit more. Because why not make it spicy? So this thing, because with like the way we're making it, even though we're making a sauce for the slaw, this is not like coleslaw where it's creamy base and things like that. This is meant to make it super light but still flavorful. I'll allow. Okay. You know what? Let me say that. Let's see how much of this slaw we can get up in here. So, because what we want is for it to be coated, right? But not to feel heavy. It's about getting the flavors of the the dressing on the slaw. It's not about it being doused. And that's where a lot of people go wrong too. Feel like you need a whole bunch of sauces. Let me know if that's you. When you're like, I need to just have it dripping off. No, that's not what we want. And we know it's not enough slaw yet because we can still see the sauce at the bottom. We need that to soak up. Oh yeah, so maybe this would have been all right. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want it dry. That's the other thing. We need that good old mixture of having some flavor, right? Without it being doused and without it being dry. So that finding that good compromise. That good old compromise. Oh yeah. So let me go and throw this all up in here. That way I can toss it around a little bit. Y'all probably don't know that reference. My siblings know that reference. Yeah, so my dad, y'all, loves Little Rascals, right? What's that? All the game something. So one year for Christmas, we bought him like the whole collection. And shoot, I think we fell in love with it just as much as he was. So we were watching all the time. There's this one character named Stanley. And, poor little black boy. Y'all remember Little Rascal days. And he went to, was it Alfalfa house? Somebody's house. And he was seeing what they had in the kitchen. And he was talking about how he could make the steak talk. They had steak and they had eggs. And he was saying that he could hear them talking in the refrigerator. And they said they couldn't hear it. So then he told them, well, if you put it in a skillet, it'll talk. And they were like, what? They put it in the skillet, like, we still don't hear it. He's like, gotta toss around a little bit. I basically made him cook him a whole meal. And he got to eat for free. So about he could talk to the steak and eggs. So let's taste this. So this is the consistency that you want. If you look at it, you can see where it has a slight sheen, right? So the sauce is on there, the dressing is on there, but it's not making it wilted. Yep. There we go. Just add a little flavor. That cayenne kicked in. Amen. Amen. All right. So I'm gonna let that sit to the side. Let this do its thing. While let me check on this. Oh, I smell it. I smell it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what we don't want to do is overcook the salmon either. We don't want it tough, right? So what we're gonna do now is start getting our additional or optional toppings together. So you can do a few things. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna do all the things. So I done got sriracha on the cutting board. So we're gonna get us some limes together. We're gonna get us some avocado together. We're gonna get us some cilantro together because we want all the flavors. And it's interesting because typically when you hear sweet chili, you think mainly Asian, when you use sesame seed oil, right? Ginger. You typically don't think about avocado with those, but hey, open it up. So it's like a mixture, a fusion, as they like to say, a fusion of like Asian and I guess Mexican, which is such an interesting combination, but I'm here for it. So I told you all we're going to use some lime wedges. So I'm just going to finish slicing this lime up because it's still a little juice in here. Still a little juice in there. We don't need a lot. Go ahead. Matter of fact, so go ahead and slice up this whole lime. Oh, it smells so good. Y'all. Oh, why does fresh lime smell so good? And you know what? I'm a little thirsty. Will you take a sip with me? You take your sip, type cheers in the chat. All right. What else we're going to put on here? So we got lime. Oh, sesame seeds. So that goes with the sesame seed oil. So I have some sesame seeds that are already here, ready to go. So then we're going to also put some cilantro on here. Give me some cilantro. And let me know if you're one of those where you're like, I skipped the cilantro, Krystal. Let me know if you're a cilantro fan, super fan, you will pass. That one got a lot of branches. Yeah, my cilantro been in here for a minute, but I will say it has been holding. It's been holding. So I'm going to these off. And again, with the cilantro, decide how much you want. I am a fan of cilantro. So for me, my goal is to not go too hard with the cilantro. Get the flavor, but not let it super overpower. But I'm like this. Give me my cilantro. Yes, we'll cut up this big boy. Sticking to my, this is already wrenched off anyway. So we're going to chop up some cilantro. And then we'll cut up some avocado. And by the time we finish doing that, the salmon should be about where we want it to be. And in 20 minutes or so, you've been able to cook as many as you want, because with the rice, it's 1 or 2. So however much rice you use, double it up with your broth, not water. Season up that broth, let it cook into the rice, boil it, let it get to boil, then turn it down, let it simmer. About 15-20 minutes. And then it should be perfect. But make sure that you are ranching your rice prior to. Get all the extra sediment off, and then the rice is just flaky, fluffier too. Oh, so what type of rice? You can use whatever rice you have, jasmine rice, basmati. I just use regular long grain because that's what I had. But if you got you some good jasmine or basmati, go for it. All right, so I got my cilantro cut up. And last but certainly not least, my favorite rice, you're going to add us some avocado. If you could smell what I smell right now. Look. That doggone glaze smells so doggone good. That sweet chili. And I could use a regular knife. But why not use my avocado knife that cuts it perfectly and slices it perfectly? Let's make sure this is a perfect avocado. You want to be here for the reveal so we can see it together? Look at that pretty? Sit you to the sides. We're just going to use this. I can smell that it is ready. I cook with my nose. So that is ready to go. We're going to take this on out. Ooh. 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 Yes, ma'am. Let's go ahead and plate this thing here. Let me get my bowl. Yes, we will. That's a shame how excited I am and how excited I get. Now look, you see this rice? Remember I was talking about I was cooking the seasoning into it? Hopefully you can see in there. And then let me get it right. There you go. Let's see. Can you see that extra seasoning in there? I don't know if you can see it that well. But that comes from the season that I added. So it's not a plain, basic, boring rice. Look, I'm a firm believer. Food should be an experience, y'all. Look, eating all this basic stuff take a little time. So I got like me a little quarter, third, a cup of rice. Oh, and it smells so good. Amen. Amen. And we're going to get, shiza. If you know what that means, so sorry. Get us some slaw to put on top of the rice. Yeah. And then we're going to get us a piece of this here salmon to put on top. Oh, and this the skin want to come off. But I'm here for it. Let me know if you eat the skin. I don't always. Sometimes I do. Just depends on how it's cooked. Get this salmon. Put that on top. Oh, look at that. It's already pretty. But guess what? Now we're gonna put us a little cilantro on here. It's a shame how excited I'm getting. And then we're gonna get us some sesame seeds. Put that on here. Amen. Amen. Put that in my hand. Sprinkling around like, ooh. I'm getting fancy, y'all. Wait till y'all see how pretty this is. Ooh. All right. Yes. And I'm going to slice my young avocado. I think I'm going to put this on the side. And that's why I love this little slicer, because it slices it perfectly. Baby girl. Come on out of there. Look at that. Then I'm going to get me a lime wedge. You want to see? Look how pretty that is. Look, put us a lime wedge on the side. You look like you know something, girl. Look at that. So, it smells so good. Squinch it a little bit. And if you want to, you can get a little bit of that extra sauce from the pan that you made the salmon in to drizzle it. So let's see about this. And since food is an experience, you want to get all the things. So give me some rice with some slaw, with some cilantro. Yes, ma'am. And give me a little bit of the avocado. Then I'm going to give me some of this salmon that has some of the sesame seeds with it as well. So cheers. Bon appetit. You should be here. Amen. Look. That sauce, the salmon is perfect. I can taste the sauce that we made, or the dressing we made for the slaw. Taste a little bit of the what is that? The sesame oil. So I'm glad I used that. I'm glad I used just a little bit of it. The creaminess of the avocado, the flavor that's in the rice. Look, This came together. Oh yeah, this is a winner. This is great for lunch, nice light dinner for you, yourself, your boo, date night, little meal. Yeah. This is it. So because my parents taught me some manners, I'm gonna stop eating in y'all face and let y'all go. Oh, that salmon is perfect. Look, not too tough, not raw, perfect. 400 degrees, about 15 minutes or so. Oh yes, that was right. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of In the Kitchen with Krystal. We made the sweet chili salmon bowl. For the salmon, we just used the glaze that has some sweet chili sauce, soy sauce, sriracha for the heat, a little lime juice, and some ginger. The ginger, that's what else is kicking. And then we just made a quick slaw. However you want to make your slaw, but a slaw with green onions and made a sauce for a dressing for it. And then played around with the toppings, quick and easy in about 30 minutes. And that's with me running my mouth. But again, you can make this for one, you can make this for 6 or 7, same amount of time. All right. So hope you enjoyed it. When you make it, please let me know. Please tag me at Fitness is Not a Game so I can see how you made yours and your response when you tried it. So I will see you next time. And if you have to go out in these streets, please be safe because I want you healthy, I want you happy, and I want you here. All right, y'all. See you next time.